Sure. Yay!
Hey.
I don't think I ever saw the link, so I didn't share it. But I looked. Wow. Hey, I'm Mark Delora, game industry nerd.
Hey, I'm Susan Cummings. I'm also a game industry nerd.
Yay! Three of a
I'm a
kind.
nerdess.
Nerd-S. I like it. I'm going to get you a GDC badge that says Nerd-S on it.
Nerdess. Ms. Nerd to you. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm doing that actually as we speak. So that's why it was on my mind. Yeah, I'm gonna print up some ribbons and things for people for the hell of it, for fun, because I'm
Nice.
a goofball.
You see, now that's at Doctor Who conventions, and I know this because I used to make Doctor Who games. They have ribbons, and so under your badge, you
Yeah.
put these ribbons, and so you end up with a long,
Tail.
thread of ribbons, that say funny things. But why don't we not do that in the game industry? That should be a
Let's
thing.
do it. Let's start today. I'm on it. I'll send you the link to the ribbon printing site that I'm going to use.
And is that what it is? And they go under your badge?
Totally, that's what it is.
Oh, I'm there, Mark. I'll do it.
All right. I'm sending it. I'm going to write myself a note.
Yeah. You should share this on LinkedIn. Rally the troops. It's a ribbon year.
Yeah. Ribbon year. Yeah, we need a ribbon year. FFS.
Yeah.
Did you make a funny noise when you did that deliberately? I don't know. It made it sound either that or I'm losing it, which is also possible. Oh. Hey, it's Tony Pereira. Hey, Tony. What's going on?
Good day, Tony Pereira. Oh. Are we going to do a live one from GDC again, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If I could turn back time.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow, that is an impressive echo. That was like a 10-second long
I didn't
echo.
hear that. There?
Yeah, it's like a stream going on, a stream echo. Wow, that was impressive. Like I heard you say something. Yeah, I heard you ask again about GDC. Oh, and there I am saying it's an impressive echo. Wow.
Oh my God.
That really is like 10 or 15 seconds long.
I'm not getting an echo. Apparently.
I'll be back.
This is your NVIDIA tool. Yeah, I'm fine. Everything sounds normal to me. Yeah. Well, we have to plan this. GDC is shockingly only 3 weeks away, I guess now, right? It's like 3 weeks and a couple of days till I leave, and so I would love to do that. It's going to be a weird GDC this year, but I would love to do a boss rush live somewhere. Like we should do it at GDC, like where people can hang out, come up and talk,
Whew. Wow.
Okay.
Do not run other audio apps at the same time. That's the moral of the story, but probably knew that. I installed NVIDIA Broadcast. It's like, it's doing something. It's all good now, though.
Let's see.
I was saying,
Okay,
Mark, maybe
now
we
you
could do
should
it
be
like
able to hear me. Is
maybe
that
we could do
right?
it at GDC, the boss rush thing. I wonder if we could get GDC to let us do something like that somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now
The
I
lobby
should
area.
be.
You could try.
I
You
should
could
be
partner
there.
up with the
So
magazine
Tony,
people.
if you can
Be
hear
like,
me,
hey,
Yeah.
use your little booth.
Yeah.
Tony, if you can hear
Do you
me,
want to
let
look
me
into
know.
that, Mark?
Yeah, it's a good
Let me
idea.
know in the feed. Blah blah blah. Yay! Tony said he can hear me. Okay, great. So there we go. All right.
That'd be really cool.
Hey, so Mark, you were just saying don't run additional audio equipment or applications when you're doing this stuff.
Okay.
Also,
I'm,
don't upgrade to OBS and don't upgrade your Roadcaster software and have it change settings on you. And
Everything should stay as it is always. No changes.
every time a computer tries to be
Nothing new on
helpful-
race day.
Every
No,
time
yep.
a computer tries to be helpful, don't listen to it.
Do you want to auto update this? Of course. Oh, no, wait.
I know. What I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna have to do is set up a separate whatchamacallit, login for my streaming, just so that way when I go there, everything is already set the way it was before I left.
You can do it like you archive a video game. You just have like a PC that you keep in a closet and you pull it out every week and run that boss rush.
At 46DX. I'm gonna dust that shit off and get in there. Anyway, so yeah, this is Boss Rush. I'm Chris Melisinos at AWS. Susan Cummings. Again, because they already heard me.
Nerdette.
They just didn't hear me.
Ms. Geek.
Susan-
Ms. Geek. Geek-S.
That's
Yeah.
right,
I'm a
Geek-S.
video game geek
Yes.
of the female
absolutely.
variety.
A storied, towering presence in the industry too. Everybody should know what Susan is up to. And then Mark.
I've become a level designer this week. That's
have?
how storied I am. I'm designing levels in Unity. You'd be so proud of me, Mark.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm always proud of you, Susan.
You can teach an old dog new
course.
tricks, apparently.
Next week, you're going to be doing 3D art.
I'm learning to push it to source tree. It's crazy. Yeah, I haven't broken it. I know, it's wild.
Yet. Okay.
Crazy.
Awesome.
Crazy. Well, yeah. So again, I'm not sure if Dean's going to be joining us today, but we'll continue to soldier on. Let me go ahead and transition us here. So yeah, no, we just have 3 on the.
And then there was
list there.
3.
So yeah,
And
we
there
have a
were
lot
3.
of news to kind of dig into today. And
You want to talk about dice?
yeah, why don't we talk about
Yeah.
dice first?
Dice. First
Yeah.
off,
So-
what's dice? Some people.
I
might
wasn't
be
there.
asking.
I'll shut up and listen and be sad.
Does anybody know what dice is? Go ahead and comment. If you don't know, you should know.
You know, you know.
That's right.
I want dice to be further apart from GDC so that I can justify
Yeah.
the 2 trips.
Well,
Yeah.
there's Nick Shiner.
Oh.
Hey, good. Keep going,
It's a
Mark.
little bit of a
Please
it's a
explain
little
us
bit of a
little about
1-2
dice.
punch. I think a lot of people treat it as like you go to Dice. Okay, what's Dice? Dice is a conference in Las Vegas. It's small. It's like between 500 and 1,000 people. This year, I think somebody told me it was 700. Last year it was substantially bigger. I'm not sure what's changed. Well, lots of things have changed. It tends to be I want to say executive level. And part of that is because it's really expensive. It's,
Indeed, it is.
super
Yes,
expensive
yes.
to go to, which limits the number of people who go. The good news is awesome people go, and the reason to go is to meet the awesome people. And you should, honestly, like, it's worth any price to like walk down the hall and like run into Adam Boyes or Shu Yoshida or Sean Layden or Mark Cerny
Or
and
Mark
just, like,
Delora.
or me or Chris or Susan and be like, hey, what's going on? And get a coffee and like, how are things going in your world? That's what makes it amazing. It's like the best conference. Yeah. So it was this past week.
Yeah.
What was it? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Out Friday?
Yeah, it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yes. I'm going to grab a document that I have kicking around here. Keep talking.
Yeah. I kind of feel like I have to caveat that usually I try to not pay for it because it's so expensive.
I don't think I've ever actually paid for dice.
I feel bad because like the AIAS needs our support to stay afloat, but usually I try to do it.
Damn expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
We-
But doing
we
a,
shop-
doing a talk or a round table or trying to help out how I can instead. That's what I try to do. But anyway, yeah, so there were 6 talks. One day was talks and kind of meet and match sort of stuff. So in the morning it was talks until lunch, and then one-on-one networking, kind of organized networking in a room. Party that night. It was Wednesday. Thursday was roundtable day. So there were 4-hour-long roundtables, and then awards that night and a post-awards party And the roundtables were super fantastic.
They were.
Just getting to talk about industry issues with 10 or 12 people for an hour. And these people are, super in it. People
Yep.
trying to help each other out. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
great.
so I have a list actually of all the roundtable sessions, and we're just going to mention some of the ones that were.
And then Sean said this, and then Mark said no. It's
Yes, Mark Dolores
Chatham
said
House
this.
rules. I think Chatham House rules reign in the roundtable. Do you know Chatham House rules?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is not. We're talking about what people are saying. This is, some of the topics that kind of are top of mind for people were about sustainability in the industry, right? How we continue to make our practices better going forward. How to be, how to look for ways to improve player experience, and what does the future for AI kind of hold. So I thought all of those were pretty amazing, and all of the the topics are actually on the website, so you can go and check it out there. This was my first dice. I was telling Mark going there. So this will be 24 years since my first GDC, but my first dice, because because it was right there in February, January, you get, kind of out of the holiday kind of, parking your brain for the holidays, and then, you get your kids back to school and everything, and then you're like, oh my goodness, now I got to get ready for GDC and all those things. I'm going to see all those knuckleheads in a month anyway, so I just won't get a dice. But to your point, dice for me felt a lot like the old GDC did, where you
That's
could
exactly what I love about it. Yeah.
go to the Fairmont and and see everybody you want to, and that's what this was
Yeah.
like, right? And also a space for people to speak, I think, a bit more candidly, and in a more, they're not always looking over their shoulder, right? Because it's, people can be a bit more vulnerable and be more of a community at that level, which, is important. It's important to give people a space. I would like to make one plea to our industry, though. It's expensive and executive level conference. So if our colleagues are spending a bunch of time making presentations and stuff to share their experiences, it would be great that we find time to be there to listen to them, right? Which can be really tough because we all want to see each other, but at the same time, if they made, I mean, for me, I'm always like, if it's 1,000 people or one in the room, I give the 1,000-person talk, right? Somebody decided to show up and listen what I had to say, so I'm going to always give the 1,000-person talk. But I was just like, oh my goodness, there were a couple. I was like, I'm going to have to clap a little extra harder here.
Get kind of sparse.
Mark, do you remember the year that Chris Taylor talked and took his shoes off, walking around barefoot on stage?
I forgot about that.
He just sent me a text asking if he missed me at Dice. I'm like, I wasn't at Dice. But that was a great one.
One of my favorite comedians, philosophers, right? Tim Minchin, he does that. He does his shows all barefoot with his hair teased all over.
I'm gonna try that. Why don't I go barefoot in my
I know,
talks?
right?
Awesome.
It's the game industry. Why am I wearing
doing
fucking
it.
suits and ties?
Pantsless.
Just take my shoes off. Yeah, well, there's a line somewhere. I'm not sure where.
T-shirts and shorts this year. That's it. I'm done with
That's
an indie
actually
developer
the Aloha shirt only. Everybody has to have an Aloha shirt to get in. So,
Heck yeah.
anyway,
it was a great event.
It was.
The awards are the last night, and the dice was originally created specifically for the award show.
Yeah.
I think that was the reason for the conference to exist. I think originally was to make a great award show that really highlighted what the industry creates.
Yep.
Kind of like an Oscars for the game industry. I think they've achieved that. I thought every year I think the awards are better and better. Sometimes a little longer than I want them to be.
depends who you're sitting
But
with.
other than that, better and better. Oh no, I had great seatmates. I just get itchy. I'm like, I can't sit still for that long. maybe they're not getting longer. It's just my brain has a shorter attention span.
or ADHD.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, you can look through the award winners on there.
Yeah. Well, I did.
The Balatro and Astrobot and Indiana Jones. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did pull up here. Oh, let me see. Sorry, Susan. Let me go ahead and bring you back there. We have Dean's little static picture there. Ted Price looks back on over 30 years in the gaming industry. Ted Price received the honor of being inducted into the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences at the DICE Awards this week. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know him very well. You know, I mean, I've been in rooms with him and have spoken to him before and type of things. But anytime I've engaged him, he has been so kind and so thoughtful and so approachable. Like, I can't imagine, you know, anybody more deserving of an award like this than somebody like Ted Price. Like, truly a leader of people, not just a leader in the industry, a leader of people, right? And was really just so happy to see him win this award.
Yeah, I think noticing this article, which I haven't read yet, I'm going to go read it, but it referred to something which I also noticed, that Ted was retiring and Don James, who was employee number 4 at Nintendo, retiring, and Shu kind of noping out as well. He's still around, but retired from his role at Sony. But that was like one of the themes for me this year, was just like, oh man, there's a bunch of people who I kind of think of like being not coworkers, like comrades in arms in the industry, and they're leaving, and it makes me sad. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's sad, but it's awesome to celebrate them and to, you know, and to, you know, appreciate the work that they did, and also to kind of welcome in the next generation of developers and industry leaders and stuff like that. They're going to follow in their wake and learn from them, right? And continue the legacy that they set up. So, yeah, it was pretty awesome. So definitely go ahead and check out, you know, Ted's award there, and Don James, and it was great. Like, the whole award show was really, really well done. Very humorous, which I loved, and yeah. Does it stream afterwards? Right? Did they do that?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's streamed, and I think they'll put up a cleaned up video of it too at some point. I believe you can.
All right. So here's the real question for you, Mark.
Fire.
How many predictions did you get right of award winners? Did you mark down in your book? Because I was sitting with Mark Sabatnik, and I was sitting over at the Unity table with Dorothy and a bunch of other folks. Everyone was just so nice and welcoming. And we all started marking to see if we got them right. So were you more right than wrong?
I didn't play that game this year because, no, it's for a sad reason. No, it's for a happy reason. I'll reason it away. There's so many damn games. I didn't play many of them, and percentage-wise. Yeah. I was like, I just kept watching the awards, and I was like, I meant to play that. Oh, I meant to play that. Oh, damn it, I meant to play that. But then it was like, the real question for me was Indiana Jones, Balatro, or Astrobot? You know, like, that was the question. And I was wondering, you know.
And how did you do, Chris? Did you get many right?
I got more right than wrong. I think Bot and I were pretty much kind of neck and neck, right, on those. And I started saying, I know this one's not going to win, but this is the one I want to win, you know, and I picked those. You know, this is the wonderful thing when you're like, okay, is it Balatro? Is it going to be Balatro? Is it going to be Indiana Jones? Is it going to be Astrobot, right? Why not all three? Like, you know, they're all amazing. Although Balatro.
And they're all very different games. This is the problem I have with these sorts of awards is I've judged the BAFTA awards, the game of the year and the multiplayer game a couple times. Yeah. And I always find it insane trying to compare apples and oranges on this stuff. Right. Remember the one year it was like Vampire Survivors versus like a Forza game, and it's like, you know, good in their own ways. Like,
a game that uses the least amount of buttons on the controller, and then another game that uses all of the buttons.
Exactly.
Right. And motion controller.
Right. Yeah. But Balatro, I was like, okay, you know, I really don't play poker and all that stuff. Let me see what it's all about. Yeah. And so I downloaded it onto my iPhone and my iPad, and I got on the plane to fly back to the East Coast, and 2.5 hours into the flight, I was like, what? So Yeah, it is. Yeah, Kelly McNeil here is just like, losing productivity in your life. Balatro is not the type of game I'm ever drawn to, but oh my God, I've poured so much time into that. Yeah.
Yeah, Kelly, I see you in that Discord. I see you. I'm like, wait, what deck are you playing? Like, oh man, I got some distance to go.
I know. And then I feel really bad because I'm like, man, my runs are terrible compared to other people. Like, what am I missing here?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Reminds
my
me of
goodness.
was it Inscription? Is that what it was? The last card game that we all got stuck into.
Oh yeah,
And,
Inscription's great. He got
people
me
were
on
like,
it
"Oh,
first.
did you see the blah 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 blah?" And you're like, "What? Did I see the what?" Like it's like 3 games, really, right? So like people are talking about later parts of the game, which are completely unlike the beginning.
Yeah.
What the hell
I
are you
heard
talking
that. I
about?
haven't gotten far enough in it. I have
Oh, okay. So you got some. You
no,
gotta do
no,
it.
but I
That's
have
great.
heard that it changes a lot.
Yeah.
I got a bit sucked into the Obelisk game because I got a bunch of roguelikes for Christmas from Lee.
Oh.
And I beat it. I beat it twice, and I'm like, okay, now I need to move on. I gotta stop.
Sorry. Special guest star has arrived.
Hey.
Well, I am also a game nerd, and I love you very much.
Aw.
Yeah, but it's not Bowser unless he's snorting. I know.
No, it's not. Yeah, we'll give him a little while to start snoring, and then it'll feel like home.
Then just record.
I have still not played Balatro, Chris. I hate poker. I have not been able to bring myself to do it. I know. Everyone says you don't have to like poker. I've not been, because Lee played the demo and he wasn't really into it, and so he's off my litmus. We're both not into poker, but he said he probably has to get back to it. So clearly, I do need to finally play it.
Yeah.
Play it for.
But I found it's really not poker, right? It's poker.
I know.
Poker,
And this
right?
is what I've been
Totally
told.
poker.
That's what I've been told.
I don't know people who say that. are
Thank
crazy.
you.
I
Thank you. Okay,
don't
thank
like
you.
poker either. I
It's
think
not.
I think it's a fascinating design experience, and it's super engaging. And I might not play it anymore. I won't play it for.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Now, see, that's kind of how I feel.
Oh,
Like I
don't
would
listen
feel
to
about it.
him.
It's fantastic. I've done 2 runs, and it took me a couple of hours total. And I think it's
Okay.
I feel like I get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, this is
Alright.
the gameplay. But I know it's like I've only touched like a 20th.
This was kind of like Lee. He's like, yeah, I played the demo and it was okay.
You
And
know what it is?
he and
It
I
is- it
both
is a
love
great-
roguelikes.
It's a great second screen experience, like watching TV and playing
Yeah,
it. Although,
it
so
is,
speaking of
yeah,
which,
yeah.
one of the conversations that we had at Dice, and since it was my comment, I'm free to share it, was I found the second game experience, right? Meaning that TV is the principal driver, and then the game that I'm playing is the secondary, which was Power Wash Simulator.
Oh,
Power Wash Simulator. And do not, because right now there's all this discussion about that Dig the Hole game for $5 on Steam, which I need to go download. It's $5. Dig the deepest hole you can get, and it's like all the
that
jokes are like
Haven't tried it.
every dad at the beach. Let's dig the biggest hole in the ground. But the Power Wash Simulator is so soothing because it is just, I mean, you are just washing these vehicles. You're washing, these buildings, these objects, so you can pay attention to what you're doing, because even if you miss, like, it doesn't matter type of thing. It is, yeah, it's comfort food. No,
and you don't know how to power wash in order to play it.
No, but people are like, why don't you go outside and power wash your car? Because it's 18 degrees outside in the middle of winter, dummies. I'm going to just go ahead and do this thing. Yeah, power wash simulator for sure. All right,
That's
so that
awesome.
was Dice. Great
Dice.
conference. I was so glad to be able to go this year. It was wonderful to hang out with you, Mark. And Mark and I wound up at a couple of the same round tables together. And
Yeah, it was awesome.
great exchanges
Yeah,
there.
that was super fun.
All right, let's talk about some of the other big news that's going on. And for those of you that are listening, if you have anything you want us to discuss or that we're missing, go ahead and pop into the chat there and let us know what you'd like to hear. But I'm going to go ahead and bring back our browser here so we can take a look at what's happening around games.
More layoffs, sadly.
Yeah, so let's, I don't have any details, and I can't even give real opinion because I don't know those details, but of course, NetEase.
The developers.
Marvel
I've seen a few
Rivals.
developers. Yeah, the Marvel Rivals team. Now that was, not to dismiss that in any way, but I don't think they've laid off the Marvel Rivals team. They've laid off the U.S. team that was
Right.
supporting the Marvel Rivals,
Yeah,
right?
I think that they created Marvel Rivals, like the
Really?
center. Just my understanding is that the design concepts were created by that team.
I see. I didn't know
And
that.
so for them to get
Because
laid
Lee
off,
is obsessed with Marvel Rivals, by the way. He plays that all the time. I'm kind of into it. That's not my really sort of thing. I never really got into Overwatch either. I respect it, and I had some fun messing around with it, but he loves it.
Yeah, so some of the comments in here in the article by Mr. Takahashi was, let's see, I want to make sure that I get the source's name right here. It's K, let me see. Where is their first name? Let me see. Maybe you know. Let me see here. Basically, they said, look, China is in retreat, geopolitical tension, some big bets not paying off, and the whims of certain CEOs mean that a massive pullback's begun. One major strategic who has made dozens of investments in the past several years is reportedly pulling the plug and divesting all investments outside of China. Some will likely find buyers. Others will not be so lucky, right? And so in reading some of the analysis, and again, I'm not there for the details, so I have the same information everybody else does. It feels like this is less about the industry and just more about the current, economic and political climate, right?
Yeah.
Which is it's very sad that people are getting caught in the crossfire of this,
Yeah, Dean, sounds like Dean did a really nice job at abstracting away what's happening. I have a hard time hearing that and not getting angry. Just because I'm like, these are people doing stupid things, causing problems for people who who people in our industry are getting fucked over. Sorry, because of some idiots. That just makes me mad.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's me, though. I do that to politics-related stuff. Anyway, I think this NetEase group was in Seattle, which is why I heard about it. I think anyway, people on a mailing list that I'm on, and it just from a geopolitical perspective, you can see that there's might be some CFIUS related problems, and having a Chinese game developer working with U.S. companies when the U.S. is doing really crazy batshit stuff, you want to pull out. I get that. At the same time, if it's true that these people created the design of this game, honestly, I hope they go make another one and kicks this one's ass. But we'll see what happens. If that's not true and I'm misunderstanding, then
Yeah, and that's again, we don't have any more information than what we know publicly. But I do like the way he started this article. Chinese game publisher NetEase raised fears at recent moves that it's unloading as much of all of its overseas holdings in U.S. game companies and elsewhere due to rising costs and other reasons. And other reasons is doing a lot of lifting.
Dean's very good at this.
Dean is extraordinary at this. So again,
you should have put and ...
And ... and pick a picture of an orange clown or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, of course, our thoughts
reasons.
and hearts go out to everybody that's been impacted by this, and hope for soft landings for everybody. And would love to.
Typo.
I guess there were 10 people in the Seattle office. So typo. You see a typo?
No, it should have been a typo and orange reasons as opposed to another reason.
Okay. Well, all right. So then let's take a look at something that leans towards the positive side here. Game investments and M&A totaled $17.5 billion across 985 deals in 2024. So money's still coming in, right?
They got a lot. There were a few deals though that were disproportionately taking that up, I believe, like the Epic Disney deal and the Jagex private equity deal. Not to throw water on that graph.
Well, yeah. Why do you expose me like that, Susan?
Sorry.
It's a Kevin Nealon line.
It was good news until now.
It's good. Some good things are happening, and then there was the mobile deal. That was a huge one. So there were a few really big deals that took up a lot of that.
Well, okay. In this article, though, they say, look, removing Microsoft's acquisition as an outlier.
Oh, okay.
2024 is a strong year, totaling $17.5 billion across them. 39% in value, 60% in volume compared to 2023's $12.6 billion across 848 investments. Right?
Don't get me wrong. I think that when I saw a Pocket Gamer in January, about the only thing everyone can agree on is that M&A is going to heat up this year. Now, the the flip side of that is that that's because the prices are really cheap. You know,
Yeah. It is
the
a
price
buyer's
of
market,
something in
right?
the store is something really, really cheap. People are going to buy it. You know,
Yeah.
there's always a point at which people say, "Sure, I'll have it."
I was surprised to hear a friend of mine who will remain nameless took tons of meetings at Dice, thinking like set up meetings for broader discussions at GDC, and reported back that it sounded like well over half of the meetings he took, people were looking to invest into things,
That's
which
great.
which is a sea change for sure.
Yeah,
from
that's
last
great to
year.
hear.
So
Really great to hear. Yeah.
For sure.
Well, and then there's this big Niantic Scopely deal.
Yeah, let's
Niantic
talk about that.
Pokemon Go. Three and a
Is it a
half
deal?
billion.
wait, is it a deal? I thought there was just a
I don't think
discussion.
it's done yet. It's sort of being treated like it's done, but I don't think it's done. But
Wow.
it makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense. I mean, Niantic's not a game company.
They're
Pokemon
not?
Go's not an AR game.
Wait, Niantic's not a game company? This was a puzzle for me. I'm like, oh yeah, look at that. Yep. It looks like they're treating
They
it
want
like
to be an
thing
AR
too.
company, and Pokemon Go's not an AR game, and mostly they seem to be very all in on AR, if nobody else is, and so
Yeah.
it feels like it probably makes sense for that reason.
I just
But
don't understand what it is.
It's a bunch of money to build out the metaverse.
Yeah, I guess maybe
That they
that's
do.
what it is. I don't know. The puzzle to me was like the news headline that like Niantic sells its games business to Scopely for a large amount of money. And I was like,
Yeah.
what else does Niantic do?
Right.
Well, they have their whole toolkit, for adding AR and geo positioning and stuff. So I guess they're more of a tech company at that point.
I
Right.
guess so. Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
as someone who's been building an AR for a while and has kind of put that part of my life on hiatus, I think that, for the most part, people don't care enough about it. I think there's some cool things at CES, but I think for the most part, Apple kind of screwed that up for all of us with the Vision Pro.
Well, I mean, they were showing where the technology was advancing to, right, with Vision Pro.
Yeah,
Like the art of the
yeah.
possible from a tech perspective, and it was
It
expensive.
really hurt the industry, though, where I can't, in my hot take opinion,
Yeah.
maybe not even a hot take, it really hurt the notion that, like, there was that brief period where it was coming out, and all of a sudden, folks like Andreessen were like, "Hey, we need this, and this, and AR, blah blah blah," and then it limped, and then it didn't come out in Europe, and then they started breaking, and then now they've announced that they're not even doing it anymore, right? Or they're going to focus on a cheaper one.
Oh, really?
There was some announcement, because I was just talking to someone about this, where they said I don't think they've completely canned it, but I think they've canned that version of the pro version, and so I think they're trying to make a cheaper version. I so badly want it to work. I say this as someone who's just disappointed that it didn't go better than it could have gone.
Yeah. Yeah, you shouldn't ship your research prototype and call it a product, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
or
It was a dev kit, right? It was a dev kit.
It was aspirational and it was expensive.
Yeah.
Like you'd ship a dev kit that's expensive, and I think we all hoped that it would show the path to the future, and then it would get cost reduced really fast, and people would jump on board. Because I remember all the conversations. I'm sure you do. People were like, "Oh, when Apple gets in the game, man, it's going to change everything."
100%. I've been saying that for years.
It changed it the wrong direction.
Yeah. Well, and there was no games, right? The Vision Pro got launched as a second monitor, third monitor, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was enough to convince anyone they needed to spend $3,000. I think that, the cooler things, the LiDAR things, I think that's where the magic is. And that's what.
Yeah.
Well, to that point,
Yeah.
Kelly McNeil here in the chat said, I went to the MIT VR XR reality hack and all the talk was about MR glasses, right?
Yeah.
And that's where it's all going. And we've talked about
I think
this,
so.
I think,
I
as,
agree.
as an
that's
industry before, right? Which is, it's like, what's gonna take? Is it gonna be XR or VR? It's like, well, everything that you can do in VR, you can do in XR, but not necessarily the other way around, right? Because XR, you could blank the entire field of view and create a VR experience if you want, or you pass through what you want to see and place stuff in there. So ostensibly, an XR headset could just be a VR headset, but the current VR headsets are also doing XR now, right? And so that's where it gets a little weird, a little wonky. And I think, quite honestly, the Quest 3, it's like it hit, for me, in my brain, that 80% threshold of what the Apple product was, right? Because it's like certainly not as clear and everything, but good enough to do the job. at a fraction of the price. So, okay,
Yes.
that wins, right?
Great.
And so, yeah.
But I think the things at CES, like that Dean highlighted a bunch of these, the glasses that are more like the Ray-Bans
Yes.
plus.
Mhm.
Like there was that demo of the glasses. Like my kid wanted one. It was like $400 or something for the Kickstarter, and it was translating someone in real time, so you could just have a normal conversation with anybody in the world. That's cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
So
That's awesome.
you know,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
speaking of
I think
devices,
that's the path.
Yeah.
speaking of devices, that AI pin, did you see it sold to?
I only found out about it this
185
afternoon.
million?
I'm so behind.
Well,
Yes. Yeah. What was the name of the pin again?
It was
no.
called Jesus. I had it up on screen.
Does
A second
anybody
ago.
remember what the name of that AI pin
Kludge?
was? Oh, human.
Human.
No,
That's
one
it.
or something.
The human.
No,
AI
humane.
Humane.
Human or humane?
Humane. Yeah. Humane. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Not only did they sell it, but everyone who bought one, it's getting bricked and not refunded.
right. I mean,
Wow.
look, whether or not you want to watch, or whether or not you read ours or not, but the title here was truly a middle finger. Humane
Yeah, I
bricking
saw that.
$700 AI
Yeah.
pins with limited refunds, right? And I think they had over $1 billion,
Raise?
price tag. And
They raised 250 million
Right.
at I think like a 500 or 750 million valuation, and now they're selling it off to HP for like 100 million.
Yeah, 185 million or something. Yeah, or 118, something like that. You're right. Oh, no, wait
Yeah.
a minute. 116 million. But the
Yeah.
original price was like $1 billion.
Oh yeah. And they raised 250 million, so this is a complete wash right off for the
But
investors.
look, I
Yeah.
mean, look,
Investors
the
are
rate.
just
Oh,
trying
I'm
to
sorry,
get
Mark. Go ahead.
Something. No. You go, man.
So I was going to say, look, the Ray-Ban glass and stuff, and I love the new ad campaign with Chris Pratt and is it Chris Helmsworth? I think it is, and they're looking at some stuff and they're talking like, what is this? And they're like, why is a hammer next to this thing in the museum? I mean, they leaned into the low friction. People know how to put glasses on. People are used to wearing chunky sunglasses. So you embed the things in the stuff that people already do.
Yeah.
And me, I'm a huge fan of trying crazy ass tech all the time, right? But the friction of I got to put my hand here and I have to twist it like this, and it's trying to use voice when I'm in the street in New York. Like it's too much all at once. Like people, that's not the way this stuff happens. It happens gradually, then suddenly, right? And so easing people into the comfort of using these things. I haven't heard anybody make a comment about like Google Glass being glass holes. I haven't heard any type of comment like that around the Ray-Bans. Right now, there's been some questions about tying it into back-end systems and doing, identity, instant identity and all that other kind of stuff. Yes, these are security things we're going to have to go through, right? And make sure that we are being considerate of people as we build tech. You just can't build stuff just to build it, right? We have to remember that people are on the crash side of the equation. So it's how do we, again, ease people into it and make them comfortable with the technology in ways that really improve their lives. And I think, again, that current glasses movement feels like the right way to go about it in small steps versus big bites, That's it. Thanks for coming to the TED Talk today. And so we are done. Ooh, we solved all those damn problems.
Done. Well said. I was impressed that when I went to the Lens Crafters at the mall a few weeks ago, they had
You got your orange Julius and
big, huge. I got orange Julius and some Ray-Ban glasses.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Yeah.
Hey, we're better than that, Mark. You're in Seattle. The Vision Express here in Newport, Wales, had the Meta Ray-Bans.
Wow. Yeah, that's saying something.
Mark,
That's
I put
pretty
them
I know,
on in
I
the
was-
store when looking for sunglasses, and my wife looked at me and went, "No."
Well, yeah, got to draw the line.
Was it, Chris, were they giving off too much masculine energy?
No. That's exactly what we need to do.
That
And I
was
said-
sharp.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The version that had flames painted on the side, right? Yeah. That's good. And you know, some of the accoutrement that you can use on the back of a pickup truck that may hang low. Like,
Right. Hangs off the back of the glasses. Yeah.
Hang on. Should we like pivot this topic into the fact that Elon Musk is trying to start a game company? What the actual?
Let's. You know what?
Is that still
You know what?
happening?
Here is what I would say.
Oh no.
There's enough oxygen being consumed in that sphere.
Is it oxygen?
So I said consumed, not not delivered. So maybe we don't do that. Maybe we just, in the limited amount of time that we have, talk about stuff that is.
Hey, there's a great ESA talk coming at GDC this year on accessibility that you
Yeah.
also
Yes.
I'm
Nice.
excited about that. Thursday,
Excellent.
March 20th at 12:15 p.m. Electronic Arts, Google, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Ubisoft. So that should be great.
Cool.
Spearheaded by ESA.
That's awesome.
That's going to be pretty awesome. Excited about that.
Yeah.
That's great. And then Dean's got his Games Beat Summit night that I'm sure he'd like to mention if he were here at
Let's go ahead
GDC.
and pop that up. And I love this because
Yeah, on Tuesday night.
yeah. So this is called the Games Beat Crossfire Lounge.
Wow.
So basically, Dean,
I am participating. I'm gonna be duking it out. I want to say with David Higley to talk about the state of the industry.
Oh,
We're gonna find something to disagree about, apparently.
Oh, I hope we're allowed to drink in this session, because I'm going to be. I'm all about it. I can't wait to hear
great.
it. I love.
It's gonna be fun.
You
Yeah.
know, when we can be very candid and say. But the whole idea is to go ahead and take on these topics, right, that may or may not be flashpoints in the industry, head-to-head debates, AI savior or saboteur of game development, game app stores, gatekeepers or growth engines. The future of the game, which, by the way, gatekeepers or growth engines, game app stores, HTML5, baby. Everybody needs to be looking at HTML5. If you want to start controlling your output, there you go. The future of the games industry: boom, bust, or rebirth. And so
I believe that's the one I'm doing.
Yeah.
Where's the drinking session in here?
Well,
That's after and before.
It's implied.
Oh, enjoy drinks in a light social setting. Okay.
Is that what it says? Oh, it's a
Nice.
night of
Yeah,
nibbles,
yeah.
networking, whole bars. Right.
Nibbles.
Yeah.
Nibbles.
Nibbles.
Yeah,
I've never had to nibble
Where's it at?
bourbon, so I don't know what you're talking about.
It's
I
frozen.
don't actually know the
Oh.
location. It's going to be somewhere around there, but I
There
don't know
we
if it
go.
actually says.
Drinks
does it?
and light bites in a social setting. It'll be social
Social setting.
until the fireworks start. Then,
Yeah, what?
woo! And they're not giving away popcorn buckets at the door. I don't understand.
What's the MTV Real World slogan? I'm trying to remember.
Which one?
Something. Do you remember Real World on MTV? Is that what it was called?
I remember Real World.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had that slogan. Like
It was like the original
something about
reality show.
Getting real. Yeah.
Yeah.
when people stop being blah 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 and start getting real.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
When people
Yeah.
stop being polite and start getting real.
There
The
you go.
real
Real world.
Now, everybody is acting exactly as they would when 14 cameras aren't on them
They're
all
pointed
day
right
long.
at them. Say something controversial. Go.
I love it. I love it. And you just know there's some scientists on the side going, "Did you hear what that person just said about you in the other room?" What? It's like chum in the water.
Yeah.
No, but
I've
this would be
seen that
really good.
before. Yeah.
Because Mark, didn't they used to do like the 5-minute stand-ups, like give the 5-minute pitch at GDC on all those topics back in the day?
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, there was at one point the 101 kind of things where everybody could give 1-minute talk about their
Oh, right,
presentation to
that's
try
what
to
it
get you to
was.
come. There have been rant sessions where everybody gets 5 or 8 minutes to rant about a topic.
Yeah, and that was Jason De La Rocca and those guys that set that up. And I think Chris Hecker and
Hecker.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Hecker on the what was it 2 Game Cubes duct taped together. I
That's-
think that was from
Yes.
GDC.
Yes. It's amazing
think.
what catches people's attention. But
Yeah.
yeah, in one of those like 1-minute or 5-minute pitches, when Jane Pinkard gave her, I believe, the discussion on love and games and how that works together. And of course, Kelly, I think, also gave one on video games as art and stuff, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, I believe that
Back
is
in
the
the
case.
day.
So
Yeah, it's good.
Can't wait for GDC.
Yeah, GDC is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, you flipped past a cool. I always try to find some bit of good news to talk about on the
Yes.
show. And you
Let's
went
see.
past the NVIDIA
Nope.
American Sign Language AI
Yeah.
article,
Yeah,
which I
let's
thought
go
was
ahead
super
and take a look
cool.
at that.
That is cool.
Yeah, just because I think what's interesting about it is they talk about it as being not just a translator, but a teacher to try to help people learn how to do ASL using the. Yeah, there you go. You got it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a platform for teaching. Yeah, so I feel like this is a topic that's we've been trying to tackle for years and years. There are people who use the instrumented gloves in like the old data gloves in VR a billion years ago to try to recognize hand shapes. Tech was a little hard to make that work properly, but there have been more recent versions of that using different things, and now it looks like you could just use the camera on this one, which is fantastic.
That's cool.
But yeah, super cool. I'm curious to learn more about it. I'm sitting here staring at it going, man, kind of what I want is them to release a model that we can just integrate into other games. So that if, let's say you're going to talk with an agent in a game, you can just include this library and you can talk to it in ASL. It would be a super great accessibility.
Oh, that's wild. If the NPC could then actually do sign language?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
That's super cool. I like that.
I tell you what, I got that. Here we go, gang. Susan, stop everything you're doing. We're going to go call Sega, and we're going to do a signing of the dead instead of typing of the dead.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh, my God.
What a great idea.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Somebody call NVIDIA. Get this tool. $1 million idea.
Over at Sega.
I also read, and you guys are going to be knowing way more about this than me, right? Is that Microsoft has come up with a new state of matter with their new quantum chip stuff.
Oh, the crazy quantum chip thing.
What the hell? We were like looking at this nights ago. That's all sorts of wild.
Yeah, they're like, we've been working on this for 17 years, and here's our chip. I was like, you what? That's amazing.
I know. My son came out of his play. We're like, there's a new form of battery. He's like, no, there's not. There's only 3 forms. Like, no, apparently there's a 4th, and Microsoft invented it.
Of course. But you need their API to access it.
It uses Azure. Oh, sad. And Teams.
Wah, wah.
Oh, well.
Direct boson. What is that?
Oh.
You have to have a Microsoft Teams meeting with the quantum computer
to communicate with it. That's right.
Exactly. But the only voice I want, though, is Steve Ballmer pitching Windows 3.1 voice. How much now for this
Oh, hang on a second. Clippy. This is the return of Clippy. Clippy as a quantum powered.
No.
Quantum Clippy. He phases in and out of your screen.
Clippy.
Perfect.
He just shows up in different states all the time.
This is the geekiest podcast ever now.
Yes, exactly. Thanks, everybody, for showing up.
That's what happens when Dean isn't here. Sorry, Dean.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the timeline for working.
What are you guys doing? I told you accessible.
Our not buddy, our family, our brother, Mark Sabatnik is in here saying the timeline for working on chips is staggering. We had a 10-year roadmaps at my last employers, and then developers. Yes. Exactly.
Now you need to take that voice and feed it into like 11 Labs or something and make it say all this stuff.
Mark said, "Bring Clippy back." No, bring Microsoft Bob back. That's what you want.
You know,
Bob back.
You know that Ed Freeze's sister created Clippy, right? It was on Clippy.
No, I didn't.
She was.
Listen, I mean, Clippy was fine because you can shut it off. Okay, you try to make it more personal to people. I don't have a problem with that, but Bob was a step too far. Bob was
What happened to that? It's like a red line now. We don't have all these cute little irritating agents on our screen. Why is that?
You used to irritating.
They're coming. Coming back.
So.
Now I want one.
Yeah.
Somebody make me a cute. Oh well.
Hey, but listen, with the time we have left here too, wanted to highlight 2 things here too. The first one was Shu Yoshida looks back at 31 years at Sony PlayStation, his exit interview, which was brilliant, brilliantly done by Dean and conducted there. And he talks about leaving the business and the difficulty of predicting hits and, you know, the things that they tried to do and kind of where the industry is going next. And it's pretty amazing, you know. And, you know, me as a student of game industry history, I'm like, I love reading these pieces. You know, the system debuted in December 94 in Japan, 95 in the US. It turned out to be a huge hit, and Yoshida had to create a deck to impress Kudaragi's bosses. Some viewed the PlayStation as a toy that would tarnish the Sony brand. And I've heard that, right? The four-letter word. And he pitched the PlayStation as the world's first virtual reality system.
Wow.
Right? I mean, back
Gotta read
in
this article now.
94, 95, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. But yeah, just a wonderful, wonderful career. And, you know, his contribution to the industry really can't be overstated, you know?
Yeah. And just the nicest guy. I mean, he became synonymous with Sony, right? Over the last 5-10 years, especially. It's like, it's Sony. And now Shu's gone. I'm like, well, who's the friendly face at Sony? I missed the friendly face. Yeah.
Well, we've got some friendly faces there. We have
Yeah,
our good
we
buddy
do.
Christian
Yeah, but, you
and
know.
Kim Pallister and a bunch of people,
Yeah.
you know, there.
Oh,
doing
we got lovely
amazing.
people there. But,
Yes, I know what you.
Shu
But
is
I know what you mean.
everywhere all
It's
the time.
right.
Yeah.
And of course, he came really into think of a lot of just the general, you know, consumer side's radar of that awesome video that him and Adam Boyes did back to talk about how you share games on the
Here's how you share a
PlayStation 4.
game. Oh my
And he
God.
hands
Yeah,
it
you
to
gotta find
Adam,
that.
and Adam just looks at the camera and goes, "Thanks." And that was it. You know, here's the game. Thanks.
Susan, have you seen that? Do you know that one? No?
So the story goes, Mark, do you want to tell it? Go ahead.
Oh, I can't remember the backstory of
Okay,
it.
but then I'll give you the backstory.
Fire.
Microsoft, when they were trying to figure out how to make sure that developers are still getting paid in secondary markets like trading in games, you had a digital license that was going to be attached to whatever game you had. And then when you wanted to trade it in and you went to like a GameStop, you traded the game in, and then they removed that license, right, that key from your account. So then it kind of transferred back into their pool of keys. And then when it was repurchased by somebody else, that key was then transferred to them. And they're like, but now there's only certain stores that are going to do this. And how am I going to like trade these with my friends and everything else? So kind of all of these questions came up at the 11th hour, right? Right at E3. And Microsoft had done this big presentation. So Adam and Shu went over into a corner of the convention center and like on a phone just said, "Here's how you trade games on the PlayStation. Thanks." Like that was it. And then
Handed him a
Sony
disc.
grabbed it and put an official bumper and a wrapper. It was like how to trade, you know, the share games. Step 1. It was just that, and then it just brought up the PlayStation logo. And it was awesome.
Love it. It's so hot.
That's
Yeah, more of
amazing.
that.
Big personalities in the industry, but incredible career, and wish him the absolute best.
Yeah.
Best going forward. And then, of course, we want to talk about a friend of all of ours to the industry and everything else. Carter Lipscomb passed away this week, and he was, I mean,
The best.
extraordinary, just an extraordinary human being.
As they come, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, never a bad word, always looking to help people. It didn't matter what level you were in the industry, what your tenure was. He always greeted everybody as if he'd known them their whole lives. You know, as I said, he had more love to give than just about anybody I've ever met. And unfortunately,
That picture is so perfect. He's just
Yeah,
like
right.
larger. He was larger than life, you know?
Yeah. I love this. Somebody who he knew when he was like a kid or in college or something, like his roommate in college, I think it was, posted on one of the threads.
Oh,
and
that
like,
picture, that old picture of him?
yeah, the old picture. There's like he's always been like that.
Oh.
It's just Carter, like super positive, super energetic, like loves everybody. I was like, I thought maybe it was something like this is how he evolved over time. No, it's just like the essence of Carter.
yeah.
It's amazing.
Truly.
Yeah.
And so on the Venture Beat article, there is the post that his family made. So I won't read it here. You should all read it for yourselves. But I did want to share, just a quick little bit here. So during COVID, I started this little game group. And I know Mark's been in there, and Susan, I believe you jumped in once or twice before. And I certainly know some of the people that are watching now have have been there as well. Yeah, like Tony Freya saying, he was everybody's brother. Sutton says Carter was the best, excellent person. Yeah. And so anyway, we had these game nights, and what I would do is bring people together on a Zoom call, and we'd play a board game, and I'd narrate the whole thing, and we turned it into kind of like a show. And one day, we were doing it on a St. Patrick's Day, and this is when people could start getting kind of back out into the world. And so this is kind of, my little thumbnail in the stone box at the top. People would make it full screen on their side so they could see the board game and everything else. And Carter and Tom Russo showed up after being out all day for St. Patrick's Day. And yeah. And so here we go. Let me just play a little snippet of this for you here. Carter, right? If you want to be muscle strong or do you want to be vision strong, right?
Vision strong.
By the way,
Vision strong every time.
for those that don't know the origin of that phrase, it was from this game, and we had two choices, either the prison or the hallway, and Carter was, man, you could be hallway strong or you could be prison strong. So what are we going to do? All right, so what
Prison strong, brothers. Let's go.
all right, so what are we doing? Are we And that was always it. It was always screaming, let's go, brother, let's go. Yes, get in there, everybody, let's go. And yeah, he was just, man, it will just not be the same without him. And it was a privilege to get to know him and to be in his orbit for, the time I got to know him. So we love him, and our love goes out to his family and all the people around him. And I'm looking forward to celebrating him with friends at GDC. So truly, we lost a true leader.
It's going to be a weird, bittersweet GDC, but I'm really glad that, I don't get to see you guys nearly as often as I like living over here in Europe.
Yeah.
So
Same.
looking forward to being in person and sharing stories.
Yeah. So please go ahead and if you knew Carter or even just wanted to learn a little bit more about him, extraordinary career, and I couldn't help but read what his family wrote in his voice. Like,
Me too. Yeah, I was trying to find videos of him, and I was sad I failed horribly trying to find videos on YouTube. The one video I did find was Gordon Bellamy 7 years ago, wishing him well when he had a heart attack 7 years ago, and just saying, I love your brother.
Oh, I've got days of footage from the game.
You should share. Share what you can.
I'm working on something here. I'm working on something, but I want to wait till I get it set up here. But it's some of the things that he always said, and I have it actually as the caption on my Facebook now, which is, "Be present, be pleasant." Like, that's exactly what he would say. The boss of the special sauce, Dr. Business, brother from another mother, teamwork making the dream work. What's Tony spelled backwards? Why not? Life's too short to hesitate. Keep embracing every opportunity. And remember, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
Oh, you missed it. What about it's on like Donkey Kong?
It's on like Donkey Kong. Of course. Yeah, tea time as well.
Anyway. Tea time. Yeah, what's the T-zone thing? I keep seeing references to the T-zone.
Yeah, I think that may have been in his earlier career, or one that he maybe retired, because Carterisms, we could just fill up a whole book
I know. Right.
of them. So anyway, again, Carter, we love you. And,
too soon, man.
And again, thanks for
Yeah.
letting us share a little bit about him with you all today. So definitely go find out more.
All right. What are you playing?
All right. Yeah, we're wrapping up here. So let's
Right
talk
turn.
about what you're playing. What are we doing? Susan.
Susan's playing Balatro, I heard.
She's going to start.
I'm not. I have not played Balacha. I finally beat the Obelisk game a few times over, so I'm done with that.
Nice.
I've gone back to Griftlands, is what Leah's telling me I should be playing. I played it years ago when it first came out, a little bit of it. It's a free game where it's a roguelike deck builder, but with a lot of NPC dialogue choice, which is not my favorite thing in the world, but I'm trying to get into it. And I'm gonna play some Inscription again as well.
I feel like we're getting played out here.
No, you're good.
No.
You're good. I got the music low. We got the music
Oh,
low.
there we
You're not
go.
getting played out.
I was like, where's the hook?
This is called production. Listen,
I'm gonna shut up now.
so don't worry about it.
You can tell us. You know what? Yeah, all right.
Exactly. Shut up.
Awesome. Chris, what are you playing, Chris?
Oh my God, I really haven't had time to play anything. I'm still making
What?
my way. I know. I'm still making my way through Indiana Jones. So lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm going back and reinstalling a bunch of games that I want to try back out that have like RTX patches and stuff like that. So like Portal and Portal 2 and just going, oh, that looks all pretty. And then going, yep, I already played this. Time to shut it off. Still going in and messing around with Pico 8 and now Picotron. Which is their full desktop to create 16-bit era games, which is just so lovely. Just so lovely to go and experience. And
Are we all excited about Elden Ring and 3-player? I'm excited about Elden Ring and 3-player.
I can't play Elden Ring.
3-player?
It's co-op. It's a new roguelike Elden Ring.
God, maybe I
and
can
it's-
actually not get killed as much.
Mark,
That's what I'm
exactly
hoping
what
too. I know. I'm gonna
like,
tag along with Lee.
Can't do it.
Yay.
Just can't do it. Just
Yeah,
can't
I'm
do it.
terrible at those.
And then
That's
3D
great, though.
printing shenanigans. A lot more going
yeah.
on. Oh, yes.
Oh, you gotta look forward to that.
Yes, I'll share some of that next time. But Mark,
Shenanigans.
what are you playing? buddy?
Let's see. So we had an educational game club meeting this week on Wednesday, which we do once a month, and so I played a bunch of Dragon Box Algebra 12 Plus, which I love. Fantastic learning game for algebra for kids.
Yeah,
check
Dragon
it
Box
out.
is awesome.
So I played that. I've been messing around with little learning machines, which you might know. You might recognize the abbreviation there is LLM, and it's a little learning game about LLMs. Just worth playing. Super interesting. But
That's so
you know,
clever.
right? Good job.
That's good.
Good
I
job,
like
smart
that.
people. The thing I think I'm going to do, which I hesitate to say, my brother badgered me last night over dinner to finally go back and finish Outer Wilds.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I played some of that.
I got into that game twice and put tens of hours into it. Probably I better check my Steam. And he's like, "You really got to finish it." So I really got to finish it. It's so good.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at.
Very good. Yeah.
I played some of that with Lanyon for a while. I think
So,
during
yeah.
COVID or something.
That's- Oh yeah. I think I did that too.
It was
in
during COVID, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think so. Yep.
Well,
And
awesome.
Bowser says he's playing the sleeping game. I
He's
don't know
playing
what
the
it's called
sleeping
yet.
game.
Yeah.
Sleeping
He's,
and farting. That's what they're
Yep,
supposed
yep.
to do. That's their job. And he's
Mission
he's
accomplished.
excellent. Mission,
He is
yeah.
a pro.
Mission accomplished, Bowser. So yeah. All right. So next week for Boss Rush, I'm gonna set up
Hey.
my co-hosts to be able to do
You
the
are.
audio version of this because I'm gonna be traveling on Friday, so I won't be here in the studio. So, but we're gonna make sure that we're going to try to not miss these right on Fridays because I love it. I love seeing my friends. I love spending time with the community and being able to jabber for a little bit. Surprise, surprise. So I want to make sure that they're equipped to go ahead and do this too. So next
Love it.
week, and that'll be a chance too for other people. Mark, if you're going to lead it, to bring people up and have them comment and make it a bit more interactive. I promise we're going to get some guests on here. The beginning of the year has just
Interactive
been
edition.
a bit arduous, but we'll get past it and off we go. So that's all I got.
Love
That
it.
is all I've got. So thank you, Susan and Mark, for joining
Thank
us
you,
today.
guys.
And
Thank
thanks
you.
everybody
It was a
that
pleasure.
listened today and commented. Please let people know every Friday we're here 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern, and have an awesome rest of your day.
5:30 UK time.
5:30 UK time.
Right, exactly. 9:30 at night for for our buddies down in New
Where
Zealand.
is it in Japan? Yeah.
stuff.
6:30
exactly.
a.m. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to
Guys,
do this
thank you.
anytime. So.
Thank you for making me laugh on a week where I have not laughed very much. So great to
Well, we love
see
you.
you both.
And love to
Yeah.
everybody,
Love you guys too.
right?
Yeah.
Remember, the days are long, but the years are short. So don't waste any of your time. Let people around you that you care about know.
Hug everyone a little bit tighter
Yeah.
at GDC this year.
Exactly right. And
Yep.
play some games, get more smiles. Like, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't forget to stay demented.
That's right. Right. Thank you, Dr. Demento. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. You have a
Have a good
great
weekend.
weekend. All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.